So obviously we're missing a door, and what I'm going to do is I purposely left this really wide and plenty tall, and I'm going to make by special request, like I mentioned, this is a father and son project pretty much, and I'm going to make a small door inside the big door so that we can have kiddo entrance and adult entrance, totally unimpeded, big stuff in and out no matter what it is, because that is a huge width for the size of this area. Let me just remember what it is here with a measuring tape, and I might make it, give it a little extra frame, but I might leave it just the way it is. Let's see. Get this at one hand. There we go. And 39 inches, pretty much. I got 39 inches wide. And how tall are we? Ooh, that's a weird thing to do with one hand. Whoop. Hold on. Okay, and it is 82 inches tall. Ooh. There we go. So 39 by 82. And I'm going to make a small door. Looks like I'm going to make it about, let's see here, about 20 inches by about 20 by 50 and a half. Looks like. Yeah, 15 3/4. Yep, 20 by 15 3/4. And this, I'm going to rip these in half, so I use one on the front, one side on the front, one side on the back. And what I'm going to do is, by special request, so I've made some barn door sliding doors for my closet, and I did that a while ago, and apparently it's had some impact on my son. He's always commented about it. When he started sketching, he would draw it and then identify what he was drawing. And anyways, what it does is I've got an X and then a stabilizer across the center, and that when we were sketching out designs for the door for the cabin, that's the one that he liked most. So we are gonna, this door is by special request for him, and so we're gonna make it the way he wants. So I'm gonna go ahead and rip these boards, then I'm gonna put some together and get that X going on, and that's gonna be a real solid door. And we'll go from there. Alright, so this is the custom ordered door for my son. This is gonna be outside, and then the inside will be, see if I can back up enough for you to see the whole thing. It'll be that there. So this door is going to go in, framed by the main door. So we'll have this. I'm gonna make it so they have to step up a little bit so that it's a solid frame, because this is super heavy, and the main door is gonna be really heavy. And luckily I'll be able to take this out of the main door for transport, because it's gonna be really, really heavy. And so it's gonna sit, this door is gonna sit like right here. So not all the way down and not all the way over, because I want to be able to put 3 or 4 hinges on this side just to support the main door, because it's going to be so heavy. And I want 3 on this. It could be fine with 2, to be honest. So we'll see. I might just do 2. I might just do one at the top and one at the bottom. And so I haven't presented it to my son yet, so I'm gonna go show it to him and see how he likes it. So that is part one of the door. There we go. You can see the whole thing. Okay, there we go. Part one of the door. And the big one is gonna look similar to this. Obviously not exactly the same. Now what I did here, and I'll come up close and show you. I made the outside that would control the height, and then I cut these pieces that would control the width, so that I made sure that I had uniform size. And for the outside I wanted it 20 inches wide, like I said. So I cut first these boards, which you can see are running horizontal, and like it's going to be on the outside right there. So I cut all of these boards first and made sure that I had the proper amount to fill the height. And then on top of, so I just laid those on top of these, and actually cut these last, the X, and I cut these second to last. But I put most of the screws in from the inside. I didn't put any screws in until I had the two middle layers cut out. So these are vertical boards, and they look like they go all the way down, but I didn't have any long enough, so I actually cut them to be half length, and all the half lengths are hidden, so they're concealed behind this piece. And so these boards are all 23 3/4, I believe, to center, and from top and from bottom. And so I got both the horizontal, which is the outside, and the vertical, which is the inside, boards in place on top of the frames, these pieces on the bottom. And then I put these on, I cut these out and screwed them all together so that they would hold the main shape. And I put these screws in so that they would go through every board that's going horizontal on the outside. And I put screws in here and here. I put two in each, and then one on the bottom in each, so they would go through the vertical boards here. And then I had created the X and screwed these ones halfway on, flipped it over, and created the X on the other side, and then put screws in there and all on what's going to be the outside. And then I flipped it over and I put these screws in the rest of the way. And what that did was it allowed me to work on a flat surface for making the X on the other side. But because I had 3 screws in each of these boards, that was at 12 to hold it up real well, so that I wasn't bending them, because they were in they're 3-inch screws, and they only stuck out a half an inch when I flipped it over. And then I went ahead and went across around the edges on both sides with the skill saw and got it fairly even. There's a little bit of an edge there that I could take off, but I'm not super worried about it. We'll see if it interferes when I create the swing of the door. And so the door is going to be like this, so it's going to swing on this side, hinge on this side, latch over here. I don't think that's going to be a problem, but if it is, then we'll fix it then at that point. But fairly even, not perfect, but you know what? For this application, that's good enough. And there we go. Door, part 1. Thanks for joining me. Thanks for letting me share this step of the build with you. And I hope you enjoyed it. If you've ever built a door inside of a door, whether that was a dog door or a human door or whatever, whether it was a man door inside of a garage door, anything like that. Let me know. And if you've made a video of it, please include it in your comments because I'd like to see it. That'd be awesome. Thanks, and you'll see me next time. All right. Next day, I want to get this door built. The opening is 82 by 39, basically, and so I'm gonna build the door 81 and a half tall and 38 wide. It's about 38 and a half wide, so just taking a ½ inch off all the way around. I think I want to swing out. I'm gonna have a covered porch, so I'm not worried about things getting wet and such, but I do want to have the lower obligation of open floor space in here because I'm gonna have the kids play area in here and such. I'm gonna have a little play area here for my little girl. She's small. Yeah, well, she's 2, so she's a tiny gal. But I want to put up some of those little foam letter mat things and have a play area here so she can see out the window, and the slides are going to be right there. And so I don't want to have to worry about swinging the door in and, oh, pick up your toys every time. So that's my reasoning, is freeing up space, why I want to have an external swing. And so that's what I'm gonna do. So we're gonna get going. The big one's gonna look kind of like, well, similar to that, but have an opening for that. And I'm gonna get on it, and then I'll show you updates. Okay, I've got the main layout here, and so this door is backwards. I've got the outside facing down, so I have to just build it opposite, because since I'm opening on this side, swinging on that side, I'm going to let's see here. Yeah, I'm gonna stick to that. So I want to have my door open this way, but I don't know if I do. I was planning on that, but I'm not sure. So now I gotta think. It's about to start screwing things together. So I gotta sit and ponder and decide which way I want it to swing, and do that before I proceed. Alright, I'm gonna stick with my original plan. I'm gonna have the door swing on this side, and I'm gonna have the door swing out, so that's good. The reason is I plan on having a desk over on this side, and if I swing the door, I want to be able to swing the door all the way open, and if I swing it all the way open, it'll cover this window here, hinging here. If I swing it all the way open here and I've got a desk there, then it's going to cover that window. That's going to cut out a lot of my view and light, and I'd prefer to, sometimes might want to have the door open but not lose that light or visibility because it's cutting off here. Not a big deal either way, really. I could change it at any point. Just have to swap inside for outside, flipping it, and that's not a big deal either. But that's what I'm gonna do, and so I'll stick with the way I'm building it. And what that means is I'm gonna open on this side, and I'm gonna have the small door offset toward the side it's opening. That is gonna give me room for the hinges over here to be mounted. And so since this is backwards, because I'm building it with the inside facing down, or the outside facing down, this is the sides where the hinges are going to be placed, and that's going to give me that extra space. And that is, it's about 1 foot ish, and that should be adequate for the hinges I'm planning to use. And then on this side, that leaves 6 inches for whatever opening apparatus I use, knobs or anything. And the door's going to be pretty thick, pretty heavy, so that's obvious. But with this one being removable, the nice thing is that's going to make the big one a lot lighter and use a lot less material since that's already used. So I'm gonna get at it, and what I'm doing is I'm gonna make sure I can use as many whole pieces as possible without doing too much. So this board, these are the thin boards that I've got anyways, and I'm setting this to where it's gonna be that high, but on the outside I'm just gonna have to trim out this 6-inch piece to fit. And this is what the kids are going to have to step up and over, leaving the door a little bit taller for growth. And that way it'll work for longer, because it's okay to step up a little bit, easier than having to bend down as much. So that's going to give them an extra about 4 inches of vertical at the top that they're losing at the bottom. And that's all right with me, and I'm sure they'll appreciate it later. But that's where we're at. I'm gonna get things put together. Little update, I built a frame that is going to be the little doors frame. It's gonna be 52 1/8 inch long, and let's see how wide. Didn't measure how wide. 21 1/2 inches wide, and that is going to be the frame that's built into this door, and everything else will be built around that frame, and that's it for that. So that's the update for that part. The progress I've got so far is I have made all the layer that's the outside that's going this way, and the center layer that's going vertical. I've got one more layer to go horizontal, and then I will frame it up, and put the outside frame and then the X. Or I'll figure out what I do with the X. I might not do anything. We'll see. But definitely going to do one more horizontal layer and then the outside frame, and we'll see from there. Alright, this is the finished product for the doors, and this is the inside. So it's going to hinge over here on this area, and so I'm obviously going to have to build up some trim here so that's got a solid grasp, because that is going to be really heavy. But so this will hinge here and this will hinge here, and so same thing, I'll build some trim around here just to around that frame to give a good grasp. So that's, I guess, not finished product, just one more thing on there. Gonna put some trim right up here that will be and I'll put it over the top to match, but that's going to be where we screw the hinges into, and that's a heavy door. So it ends up being 81 1/4 by 38 1/4 inches, And let's see how thick it is. 3.5 inches thick. So, big solid door. And I'm gonna wait till I have hinge to stand this puppy up and put it in place. I think maybe I'll stand it up just to take a picture. I'll show you from far back, but we'll see. I'm ready for a snack, to be honest. So, looking at it from the top, this is the top of the door. So, I'm not sure if I'll do any more design, any X, anything like that. I might just follow it through there and there as though it would have been without this. We'll see. It'll be kind of cool. But we'll see what we do after I get this bit of trim on here and here around that frame. So I'll do that now and we'll get to it. All right, well, that's what it's gonna look like. That frame, or the trim that's on this side, I'm gonna follow that across and over, or down, but just wanted to get things stood up and put in place so that I could get a look at it. And eventually I'll trim out all the windows and everywhere, inside and out. But there's the doors. I just need to get some hinges and something to keep them shut when they're shut. But that's it for now. Let's trim across there. It's gonna look a lot better trimmed than just looking a little off. So we'll see what it ends up looking like there, but that's how it's gonna be. So that's the first glance with the doors on. So go ahead and smash that thumbs up button for me if you like that, and if you got any suggestions for hinges, go ahead and put a link into the comments. I appreciate that. All right, doors are swinging. So got them both open, and here I've mounted them, got them on their hinges. There they are. They're both a little proud. I'm gonna pull them off tomorrow, or just open them and take the skill saw to the back of them, back here a little bit, just so that when they close a little more easily on this side, so I don't have to push them to latch them, and so they don't sit proud. I missed one screw, so I'm gonna have to sand that down or shave it down, because I poked myself with it twice. I definitely found it. I thought I checked everything, but I missed that one. So tomorrow I'll get to that. It's too late to be making any more noise now, but this is first look of the front door. And the roof's all just black, so I'll just zoom in there. So this was, like I said, this door was designed in conjunction with my son, and it was a couple of sit downs over breakfast and real quick over lunch after school, and into production. These hinges I picked up from Hobby Lobby. They just happened to be 50% off today, so that worked out. So altogether I spent about $32 on hinges, and just use the screws that I had. That's all that was spent there for those doors, was about 32 bucks. And just in hardware. Now I haven't got any latches yet. I was thinking about doing that, but I can do wood latches that just turn for now, and just make something that goes and locks shut while you're inside, or make it so that it locks up so that it can't accidentally spin itself while I'm outside and get me locked out. But we'll see. Got to decide still. I'll look around and see what kind of options I can think of and find. And if you've got any options of what you have done for something you can open and close and secure from the outside, I don't want to put a lock on it. So that, nobody gets into it when they're not supposed to. But, or for, when we go on vacation or something, I don't want just anybody getting in. So I'd like it to stay just the way we leave it until we get back. But I was worried about these hinges. I wasn't real sure if they were going to work. I talked to my brother. He's a metallurgical engineer, and so I talked to him about metal quality and forces and all that sort of good stuff. And he said they'd probably be good, and I'll know as soon as I mount them. And I said, what if they break? He said, well, maybe, but if it feels good or not. And honestly, this big door, look at how easily that swings. So let's see if I can set this camera back here in a way that you can see that, and I'll go up and swing it for you. Let's see here. No, that's not working. Let's see. Here you can see. I'll just show you how easily this swings. So that's it. You can see I can open and close out with one finger, and it's so wonderful. So wonderful. I'm gonna go grab my son and have him take a look at it real quick, because this whole door build was special request by him, and to sit down and design it and fabricate it and have it done by the next day is it feels good. So I know he was excited when I showed him that it was built, but it wasn't mounted yet. So I'm gonna go ahead and have him come out, and then I'll just get you an update when I decide how we're gonna clasp it shut for each of these. And I was thinking about just a latch for the small one, metal one inside, but I think that'd be more for just locking it. But I want something that we can open and close from the outside as well. So we'll see. And then for the main door, I want to be able to lock them both, but I don't want it to be all ugly and full of padlocks, so that's just not attractive to me. But that's it. That's the door. Thanks for joining me. And thank you for subscribing. Appreciate that. And if you haven't, go ahead and do that now. So that helps me out a bunch. I appreciate it. Looks like we got things buttoned up just in time. Because it's snowing a little bit. There we go. Hard to see the cabin with all the snow and the light. Whew. We'll see how much comes. It's supposed to be a good one. Good winter storm. And there it is without the light on. See a lot more. But definitely good timing. There we go. It seems a little easier to see. So, first good snow. I still don't have the gaps closed up top between the rafters and the walls, so, or the roof and the walls, so we'll see how that fares through this storm. It's blown sideways, but it seems more like it's coming in from the west rather than north or south, so hopefully it won't get too much inside, and I'll get that buttoned up tomorrow. Too late to do anything now, so that's just how it is. Now I can welcome the winter. Well, steps are almost evened out now. Glad I got that roof on, tell you what. Good timing too for the door. All that's left is getting some molding around the inside of the door and some latches and closing up the spaces around the ceiling. From the angle of this snow, it looks like it might be getting some inside. Looks like it's coming besides everywhere. A little bit from the north, so we'll see later. Right now I gotta find my way to the truck. Yes, that's the truck right there. So glad I left my shovel here by the door. Love it. So we had nothing pretty much last night. Check this out. That's all from, this started around 11 o'clock last night. Everything you're seeing there is from this. So it's not been 12 hours, but it's been snowing about like this the whole time. And I'd say it's over a foot there. Definitely looks cool on the roof of the garage. So it's exciting. Well, just wanted to give a little update that we got a roof up there and door on there just in time.